Hi, I'm Alison.
And I'm Dano, and this is The Big Turtle.
But I think like our personalities, I feel like nobody's really surprised. Like our friends, I feel like maybe they weren't expecting a bus, but no one's really surprised that we did something slightly outside of the norm, I don't think. Welcome to the inside of the bus. Okay, so this is the front of the bus, the cab section. We have a front engine bus, so that's here, and this is where our dog sits when we're driving. We haven't really changed anything up here. We plan to, but it's kind of at the end of our priority list. Behind the driver's seat, Daniel's seat, we just added this bench, and inside that's where all of our electric components are. So this way we have access, we can turn off our inverter, switch it to shore power, all that kind of stuff. It was kind of like a pre-made kit. So we have a 3,000 watt inverter, and then we have a battery that is 240 amp hours, lithium. It does the job. We would like to upgrade it for sure, but it does us about a day or two if we don't get more sun. So this is another relatively new addition. We wanted to add a little bit of storage, the open shelving. We have not secured it yet. We're planning to put a little bit of a lip on it. So right now we have to take everything off when we drive, but that's not the eventual plan. We have a little bowl for keys. This is all of our like dog stuff, leashes and treat bags. And then going along, this is where we keep the majority of our dried goods. That way I don't forget what we have and I can use it. This is one half of our kitchen. So we just have a stovetop in here. We don't have an oven. We do have a toaster oven that we use pretty often, but it's nice to be able to only pull it out when we have power rather than it take up space. We do not actually have this connected yet, so it's just a decorative piece for now, and we sit like a little camp stove on top of it, but eventually, obviously, that's the goal. We have this little fridge that I love. It's like a normal sized fridge, just shrunk down, so it has a pretty big freezer. The countertop, so we put in plywood hoping it was temporary, and then we realized that when we designed the kitchen it is like 10.5 feet, and most countertops from the store come in 10 feet lengths, so it's been a little bit difficult to find a countertop for it. Again, that's something we'd like to do down the line, but for now this works. It's just not perfect. And then we have our sink, which on theme is also not connected yet. So right now we have a little hose that we're just hanging outside the window. Again, we do have like a water tank in the bus. We just haven't connected everything yet. And then we just have a very rudimentary bucket gray water system, which has been working all right for the 6 months we've been in the bus. I think we were tired of living like in the city. Yeah. It was really fun at first. And then after like 5 years, we just wanted to see somewhere else. We always like moved apartments a lot, so it seemed like we like change, and now we have a lot of change all the time, so it's nice.
So across from our electrical cupboard and bench, we have my non-negotiable. Like Al has her kitchen. I needed to have my guitar and my amp with me, so I did have to downsize. When we were living in our apartment, I had a nice big 4x12 cabinet with like a 100-watt head, but that seemed overkill even in an apartment, so we brought it down to the 15-watt head and the one speaker. I have my electric Gretsch with me. Absolutely love it. I actually just finished building the whole kind of unit yesterday. So what we did was we built in the amp in the head, and then we have a flip open cover here, so if I ever want to pull the stuff out and go jam out in the woods, I can do that no problem. I have my pedal board sitting in here, and then Al's computer is tucked underneath as well. We also have our diesel heater. We decided to go with like the cheap Chinese Amazon model, and so far they've been working great. We just put this one in about 2 months ago and haven't had any issues. We have one in the back as well that's been going since October, and both work great.
So on the other side of the kitchen, again, I wanted a lot of counter space and a lot of storage space. We decided to do like an L shape, just so that we had a little bit more room here and it didn't feel like an aisle walking down it. This cupboard I really like because we did 3 big drawers in it, but it holds so much food. All of our like dried goods, all of our snacks and things. And then kind of a bonus that we didn't plan on is underneath I store all of our cutting boards, all of our frying pans all fit under there, which is really nice. This cupboard here is my pride and joy. I like that it's shallower because that way I don't lose things way in the back. I feel like that's easy for at least me to do. So this stores almost all of our canned goods, more dried goods. All of these are, this is kind of like an entire junk section. I don't even know if these will open. It's got stationery, things like that. Down here is everything, garbage bags, poop bags, our drone, my camera, stuff like that. And then this is, again, one of my favorite parts. It gives me a nice place to work. It's nice and bright with the windows, and it's nice to just stand up and be able to work, because in a bus there's not always a lot of standing. It's like 3 steps to a different room, so it's nice to be able to stand up and get some things done. And then above it we put a shelf on this side as well. Also not secured yet, but it will be. There's a little bit of like overflow pantry, mostly cereal and treats for us and for the dogs. And then we also keep the majority of our produce up here, just again, so I see it and then I don't forget that we have it. And then, yeah, down on that end we have bunny treats, dog treats, and that's pretty much it up there. I love the kitchen. That was something that really appealed to me because I've always lived in apartments, so being able to make it exactly what I wanted means I love cooking there. But the back, I feel like we did kind of a different layout, doing our couch by the bed, and it makes it feel like its own little separate room. And then Gibson sits with us, I'll sit on the bed and read, you'll play games, Midge is right there. It's like a really nice room for us all to hang out, so I very much enjoy spending every night there.
So then, just kind of past Al's work desk here, we have what right now is an open section, and it's kind of our second diesel heater, which focuses mainly on our back area, our kind of bed and couch. Right now I'm storing my longboard and my acoustic here. I think eventually we plan to do some sort of couch that kind of has a little curve in it, a little day bed, so we can sit and look out the window and read. But for now it's nice to have this kind of open space and what seems to be a very cluttered area. And then on the other side of it here we have our, what we could make into a bathroom, but is currently our storage area. Right now it's got like a medicine cabinet in it where we keep our like toothbrushes and all the daily use stuff, but other than that it's a mess. So just behind our washroom here, working our way to like toward the back of the bus, we have our kind of living room entertainment section. So for me, I play a lot of video games. I have my PC in here, and Alison and I both have our own Nintendo Switches. So we play a lot of games. It was important for me to have a pretty big TV that we can see things on from either on the couch or when we're sitting on our bed behind us. I really like good audio, so I wanted to make sure I brought good speakers with me. I have 2 speakers and the subwoofer just tucked in behind the bathroom there. I also do quite a bit of like recording, so it was important for me to have my equipment so that I could plug in and play through headphones and get everything sounding great. We did the same kind of open style shelves as we did up front back here. These ones we did like eye hooks securing elastics, and for the most part light things tend to stay put no problem. Like these baskets here, there's a little magnet securing them into the back. We were living in a 3-bedroom apartment, and we figured with the 2 of us, a dog, and we had the bunny, we initially thought a van, but
Yeah.
we kind of figured we needed more space.
Bunnies weirdly take a lot more space than you think they do. I feel like Gibson would have been fine. Yeah, get it, buddy. Gibson would have been fine in like a van because he would just hang out with us all the time, but we needed like an enclosure for Midge, and when we started trying to figure it out, we wanted a kitchen and room for an amp and room for the bunny, and suddenly it was like, we're gonna need something a little bigger. So across from the TV and couch area, we built this kind of big unit. Again, we didn't really want to block any windows, and we also had a bunny when we decided to move into the bus, so we wanted to build her a nice spot where she had window light and lots of room. So that's how we got this, and we did the plexiglass so we can see her all the time, because that's the best. And then above and below her we have a ton of clothing storage. The plan is to eventually put doors on it, but for now it works. We haven't had any issues with it falling when we drive, so it's relatively low on our priority list to fix that up. But yeah, so Midge, our bunny, lives in here. She has a little ramp in the back that goes down to underneath this couch here. And that's where her litter box is. And then that couch pulls out. So whenever we're here to supervise her, we can pull that out. And she can access the whole bus and run around to her heart's content. At the very back of the bus, we have our bed. This is a queen bed. Primarily we did that because we already had the mattress, so we just brought it with us. But it's a really good size. It's nice to not have to squeeze into a smaller bed, especially because our dog sleeps with us every single night. So the extra space is nice. We have the shelves above the bed. So on this side, we usually store like our water and our phones and things like that. On this side over here, we have like extra blankets, my yoga mat, extra towels, things like that. And then at the back, we have books, and above all of Gibson's million toys. And he really likes to sit on the bed and pull every single one of them off and choose the one he wants to play with. So that's nice. So underneath the bed on this side, we have storage accessible from here. We have our laundry. This one is all of our bunny's hay. So she goes through a ton. So it's nice to have that nice and accessible. And then we have things like my sewing machine, a bunch of fabric, extra books, a lot of extra books, things like that. We really wanted a ton of storage in the bus. We both have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things that go along with those hobbies. So we wanted to make sure we didn't really have to sacrifice any of those things when we moved onto the road.
So this is our 2002 Blue Bird TC 2000. We picked it up about almost a year ago. We've been at it since August of 2021, and it's been a great ride so far. When we picked it up, we had to get all new tires on it. We had to paint it completely white. That's the color we've chosen for now. I think eventually we'll try to do some kind of cool design on it, but for now, keeping it simple with some basic Rust-Oleum. We just rolled it all on ourselves. I'm glad we went with such a simple color, because we've gone down a couple sketchy roads so far, and doing touch-ups, keeping it simple makes it easy. It's a 37-foot, and so far it's been great. So around the back of the bus here, on the other side of our underbed storage, is our garage. And this is where we keep most of our tools and everything. And since we are still working on the bus, it's complete chaos, because we come in and grab whatever we need and then just toss it away. Stores basically all of our saws, our drills, our bits, our screwdrivers. We have a generator here, which has been unbelievably helpful. When we go a few days without too much sun, we're able to just plug that in, and we can connect it to our shore power hookup, so that keeps us alive. When we first started, we were working out in the woods with absolutely no hookups, so that was our main source of power. It's where we charged our phone. Everything was run off that, so that's been unbelievable. We store like our tire chains back here. This is just kind of a catch-all for equipment.
We were talking about this earlier, but like how we can spend so much time together. And I feel like that's most likely, if a couple is considering getting a bus or a van, you're probably used to spending a lot of time together, or you're confident that you can make it work, but that has not been. We've lived together and worked together the entire time we've known each other, so that was not really a transition at all for us. That was, the more time, the better. Like we said, we can go on more hikes, we can spend more time together. It's awesome.